Imagine you're walking through a small village, but something feels off. There are more cats than people. A lot more cats. They're everywhere, sleeping on rooftops, lounging in doorways, following you down every street. You count 20 cats in the first block alone, then 50. Then you stop counting because they're literally everywhere you look. Welcome to Tashirojima Island, where cats outnumber humans 6 to 1, and where a simple solution to a rat problem in the 1940s created one of the world's most bizarre animal takeovers. Here's the paradox. In our hyper-connected world, islands still exist where cats rule entire communities. Cars have been banned for over a century, and tribes remain completely isolated from civilization. Our planet contains 900,000 islands larger than 5 acres. Of these, fewer than 11,000 are inhabited. That leaves 889,000 islands where nature writes its own rules. Today, we're exploring the most bizarre of these islands. We've already met the cats of Tashirojima, but their story gets even more fascinating. In the 1940s, this fishing community had a simple rat problem. The solution seemed obvious: introduce cats. But on an isolated island, simple solutions have extraordinary consequences. The cats didn't just control the rats, they thrived beyond anyone's imagination. With abundant food, no natural predators, and a human population that gradually declined as young people moved to the mainland, the cats found themselves in paradise. Today, the island has become a pilgrimage site for cat lovers worldwide, but it represents something deeper: how quickly power balances shift when isolation removes normal ecosystem checks. If cats taking over seems dramatic, consider Ramree Island's crocodiles. During World War II, British forces cornered 1,000 Japanese soldiers on this mangrove-covered island. The soldiers didn't know they were retreating into one of Earth's most densely populated crocodile habitats. Saltwater crocodiles, some over 20 feet long, had ruled these waters for centuries. What followed defied military strategy and entered natural horror. Wounded, exhausted soldiers found themselves trapped with purr-fect killing machines. The majority were killed by crocodiles in what remains history's deadliest crocodile attack. On Canada's Sable Island, 500 wild horses roam freely across pristine beaches, 300 kilometers east of Halifax. These descendants of centuries-old shipwrecks have adapted to brutal Atlantic storms and sub-zero temperatures, surviving on beach grass and seaweed. During winter, they share beaches with thousands of seals, creating a surreal harmony that exists nowhere else on Earth. While some islands transform through animals, others resist progress through human choice. The Isle of Sark, between Jersey and Guernsey, banned all motor vehicles in 1905. Over a century later, this ban remains. The 500 residents move by foot, bicycle, or horse and carriage. No traffic lights, no exhaust fumes, no traffic jams. Just clip-clop of hooves and whisper of bicycle wheels. This isn't nostalgia, it's a functioning society that prioritizes environmental preservation and quality of life over convenience. But no island resists modernity more completely than North Sentinel Island. Home to the Sentinelese people, this represents one of Earth's last uncontacted civilizations. The tribe, numbering 50 to 400 people, has violently resisted contact for thousands of years. They attack approaching boats and have killed visitors. In 2018, American missionary John Allen Chau was killed within hours of landing. The Indian government now declares the island off-limits, recognizing the tribe's right to isolation. Some islands are shaped by raw geological power that reminds us how little control we actually have over our planet. Barren Island in the Indian Ocean is believed to be the only active volcano on the Indian subcontinent. It's erupted 4 times since 1991, most recently in 2005, triggered by the devastating 2004 Sumatra earthquake that killed over 230,000 people across 14 countries. No one lives there, and visits are forbidden. Only goats and rodents call it home, while surrounding waters teem with life from constant geothermal activity that creates unique underwater ecosystems. Aoshima Island in Japan presents an even more dramatic example of humans living on the edge of geological catastrophe. This island houses 170 people living directly inside a volcanic caldera 350 kilometers south of Tokyo. Think about that for a moment. An entire community has built their lives inside what is essentially a giant volcanic crater. The last eruption was in 1785, but it remains officially active. Evacuation plans involve helicopters and boats to nearby islands, but residents accept this risk for the lush vegetation, subtropical plants, and incredible ocean views that volcanic soil provides. Ball's Pyramid off Australia's east coast showcases nature's most ambitious architecture. This 572-meter-high volcanic stack is Earth's tallest sea stack, a monument to geological violence that occurred millions of years ago. Discovered in 1788, it wasn't climbed until nearly 100 years later due to extreme remoteness and rough seas that can reach heights of 15 meters. The island is almost barren, too steep and harsh for most plant life, yet it supports unique species found nowhere else on Earth. Henderson Island appears tropical with white sand and palm trees, but Google Henderson Island trash and you'll discover why it's here. Due to its isolated position in the South Pacific, ocean currents from around the world converge here, depositing plastic waste like a giant oceanic garbage disposal. Scientists have found everything from fishing nets to plastic bottles with labels in dozens of languages. With no inhabitants and extreme difficulty accessing it, no one cleans up. The beach swarms with an estimated 38 million pieces of plastic debris from every continent, making it one of the most polluted places on Earth despite being one of the most remote. At the opposite extreme, Spitsbergen in the Arctic Ocean represents one of Earth's northernmost inhabited places. Winter temperatures drop to minus 40 degrees Celsius, and summer brings 24-hour daylight for months. The island experiences polar night from October to February, when the sun doesn't rise at all. But this harsh environment houses something more important than reindeer, polar bears, and elephant seals: the Svalbard Seed Vault, often called the Doomsday Vault. This secure facility, built into an Arctic mountain, holds over 1 million seed samples from around the world, protecting biodiversity against global disasters. The vault can store 4.5 million seed varieties, representing every crop known to humanity. The Arctic location provides natural refrigeration through permafrost, while the remote location protects against political instability, war, and natural disasters. It's humanity's agricultural insurance policy, buried in one of the most inhospitable places on Earth. Rockall Islet in the Northeast Atlantic seems insignificant, just a barren granite rock measuring only 25 meters wide and 17 meters high. But this uninhabited speck has competing territorial claims from the UK, Ireland, and Denmark. Why fight over a rock barely larger than a basketball court? Because whoever owns this rock controls surrounding waters extending 200 nautical miles in every direction, providing exclusive access to valuable gas deposits, oil reserves, and fishing rights worth billions of dollars. The UK annexed it in 1955, but Ireland and Denmark don't recognize this claim, creating one of the world's smallest but most valuable territorial disputes. Finally, Isle-Malk Island in Palau contains one of nature's most remarkable evolutionary adaptations. Jellyfish Lake exists within the island, a marine lake that became isolated from the ocean thousands of years ago. The jellyfish trapped inside evolved in complete isolation, gradually losing their ability to sting because they had no predators to defend against. With no natural threats, their numbers exploded to an estimated 10 million jellyfish in a single lake. Swimming in Jellyfish Lake feels like floating through an alien world. Millions of golden jellyfish, each about the size of a dinner plate, pulse gently through the water around you. They're completely harmless, their stinging cells having disappeared over millennia of peaceful evolution. The experience exists nowhere else on Earth. These islands reveal something profound. In our hyper-connected world, isolation still creates wonders that defy expectations. Whether shaped by animals, human choice, or geological forces, these places remind us that Earth still holds mysteries. Perhaps the greatest lesson is that isolation isn't always a problem to be solved. Sometimes it's a treasure to be protected. In a world growing more uniform each day, these islands stand as monuments to the beautiful, strange, and sometimes dangerous diversity that isolation can create. The next time you look at a map, remember, behind every dot of land surrounded by water lies a story, and some of those stories are far stranger than anything we could imagine.